So typically inside of your packet, your race packet, you're going to find your run number, which you're going to either pin on to your uniform or use a race belt, but we'll talk about that later. You'll find a bike number that you're going to stick to your bike, and again, we're going to have a transition video where we'll talk specifically about where you might want to put the number. But there will be a number specifically for your bike, that way you don't have to wear your run number throughout the entire race. There might be a couple goodies. Sometimes people throw in a GU or a Cliff Bar or something of that nature, and your swim cap. And your swim cap is typically colored to designate which wave you're in. So make sure that you see what color cap you are when the person is giving you the bag, and then note what time that wave might be going off. If there are multiple waves, the sprint might start at 10:15, but your wave might not go off until 10:20. So just pay attention to those kinds of things, and if it is really cold, maybe bring your own swim cap to put on and then put the race cap over it. That way you get a little bit of extra warmth. It's just a minor tip for you there. Okay, so that's your packet. You've got your swim cap, your bike number, your race number, and maybe some pins. If they don't have pins, make sure you bring some. Always have a race belt. In my opinion, it's much easier and much quicker. It's just you have your number on it and you can clip it to you instead of having to worry about pinning things onto your uniform or things like that. Okay? So, like I said, packet pickup 4:30 to 6 the night before, or 5:30 to 8:30 the morning of. Also at 5:30, transition area will open on the 23rd, Saturday, the morning of the race, and it will close 20 minutes before each race. So it's going to be closed for the half-distance competitors at 6:40 a.m. because they need to then be at the beach for their race meeting and whatnot for their 7 a.m. start. It's going to close at 8:10 a.m. for the Olympic distance racers because their race starts at 8:30. And for those of you competing in the sprint distance, it'll be at 9:55 closing because your race starts at 10:15. Okay? There'll be a separate in and out for you to get in and out of transition so that you don't have to worry about going in and out of the swim entrance or in and out of the bike out and bike in entrance. I'll throw a graphic up there so you don't have to worry about trying to visualize it. It's pretty easy to understand once you see it. There'll be a different racking area for the sprint distance, the half distance, and the Olympic distance so that nobody is kind of stepping all over each other's toes. So it's going to be a really smooth transition area. I'm really happy with the way that they're putting it together this year. It should be really easy to kind of get through, manipulate, and whatnot. It's also not that big of a transition area, and everything is in an open parking lot, so it's very easy to see where you're going to enter from the swim, where you're going to exit on the bike, enter on the bike, and exit on the run. So transition area should be very stress-free, and if you have any questions, feel free to come up to me while I'm in transition area or anybody else volunteering on the day so that you can get any questions answered. But like I said, everything is labeled very well at this race, and it's a very open parking lot, so you shouldn't have any issues. Okay? Awesome. Now, moving on to the actual race. At 10 a.m., there will be a race meeting down by the beach, and your race starts at 10:15. Now, that 10 a.m. meeting is mandatory. It's very important that you show up to that because there's going to be information that will be given by the race director or whoever is running this section of the day, and that information is going to be the last-minute changes that have happened. So if there's anything that's changed due to weather, due to the course, anything at all, whatever they can come up with or think of, that's when they're going to give you that information. So if you're not at that meeting and something changes that could directly impact your race, well then that's nobody's fault but your own, and we don't want anybody to have a bad day, so we want to make sure that you're all getting the proper information. So just be at that meeting, even if you're kind of still warming up, moving around, like doing some high knees or whatever, shaking your arms out while you're listening. Just make sure that you can hear the race director as they're talking because that information is really important. It's the last bit of stuff that you're going to get before you start your day. Okay?